Yo, what is going on guys? Jaeky here. Today I will be giving you guys the ultimate guide to finding the best sensitivity for you in Valorant. Before we get into it, I just want to make it clear that sensitivity is completely personal preference, but in this video I will give you guys some tips and tricks to find the best sensitivity that fits you. So first things first, let's talk about DPI, in-game sensitivity, and eDPI. DPI stands for dots per inch, which you can just think of as your mouse's sensitivity. In-game sensitivity is the sensitivity option in Valorant. And lastly, eDPI stands for effective dots per inch, which is your DPI multiplied by your in-game sensitivity. To find your mouse's DPI, all you have to do is go into the software associated with your mouse if you're using a gaming mouse, such as Logitech's G Hub or Razer Synapse. If you're using a mouse that doesn't have software such as Zowie, you can look at the bottom of the mouse and there will be a DPI indicator. But if you're on an old office mouse that doesn't have any of that, then I would recommend either picking up a cheap gaming mouse, such as the Logitech G203, or there's also software out there on the internet that will calculate your mouse DPI for you, but I'll leave that up to your own discretion. So it's important that you know your eDPI and how to calculate it so that you can reference your eDPI to the ones that I mentioned in this video, because from now on I will only be referring to eDPI. As I mentioned earlier, to calculate your eDPI, simply take your DPI and multiply it by your in-game sensitivity. For example, I play on 800 DPI and 0.42 in-game sensitivity, therefore my eDPI is 336. Okay, so on the screen is a simple chart I made with some pro players from both 100 Thieves and TSM. I like to call this chart the comfort zone, where the green represents a good, comfortable sensitivity for most players, yellow for more specialized cases such as players like Hiko, Simple, and Woxic, and red for the danger zone. Basically, you want to make sure that your sensitivity falls somewhere in the green to yellow zone, and never below 100 eDPI or above 600 eDPI, because both of these cases have extreme disadvantages. For example, if you're under 100 eDPI, you'll find it extremely hard to clear angles fast and efficiently, whereas if you're above 600 eDPI, you'll find it very hard to make micro adjustments accurately. So you should be aiming for an eDPI of between 200 and 400. And as always, there are exceptions, but this chart will give you a general idea of the most common zones for the majority of players. Alright, so let's talk about DPI really quick. There's a lot of misconceptions about DPI, but the general rule of thumb is as long as you're somewhere between 400 and 1600 DPI, you're pretty much good to go. At the end of the day, DPI is completely personal preference and doesn't really affect your gameplay at all. What really matters is the eDPI, because somebody playing at 400 DPI and 0.7 in-game is the same as somebody playing at 1600 DPI with 0.175 in-game, since both are playing at an eDPI of 280. You'll only really notice your DPI when you're purchasing guns, so just stick with whatever is the most comfortable for you in the buy menu. One thing that you should make sure of is you have Windows mouse acceleration disabled. You can do this by going into your control panel, typing mouse, and clicking on change mouse settings. Once you're here, click on pointer options and make sure that enhance pointer precision is unchecked. Okay, so let's talk about the zoom multiplier. This only applies when you're scoped in or ADS, like if you're using the operator or the marshal. This is completely down to personal preference. Some people like to set the zoom multiplier higher than 1, some like to set it lower than 1. I would personally recommend leaving this at 1 and just getting used to it. Obviously, sensitivity is different for everyone depending on their mouse pad. A lot of things affect what sensitivity works for different people, so don't just go out there and copy a pro player sensitivity. You should really sit down and do what I'm about to show you in order to fine-tune your sensitivity to fit you perfectly. So finally, I'm going to be sharing a couple of aim exercises that you can do to tweak your sensitivity to the perfect fit. The first aim exercise you can just do in the range. All you want to do is spawn some bots and pick a bot to put your crosshair on its head. After that, just strafe side to side while doing your best to keep your crosshair locked on the bot's head. If you find that you're lifting your mouse too much in order to keep up with the bot, then you might want to raise your sensitivity. And if you find that you don't have enough control and you keep aiming off of the bot's head, then you might want to lower your sensitivity instead. The next exercise you can do is just to use the automatic training mode built into the range on whichever difficulty you want. I started with medium difficulty, and basically you want to start with your crosshair aimed at the middle and then just flick to the bots as they spawn on the side. After you shoot, reset your crosshair to the middle and repeat. I would recommend recording yourself doing this with something like OBS so that you can watch it back afterwards. And basically all we're looking for is whether we're over aiming our target or under aiming our target. If you find that you're consistently over aiming your target, meaning you aim further than you were supposed to, then that might be a sign that you need to lower your sensitivity. And vice versa, if you find that you're consistently under aiming, then that might be a sign that you should increase your sensitivity. So the key word here is consistently, because if sometimes you under aim and sometimes you over aim, then that could just mean you're not fully comfortable with your sensitivity or your mouse, or it could just be human error. So if you're consistently over aiming, then that's a sign that you might want to lower your sensitivity, and if you're consistently under aiming, then that might be a sign that you should bump up your sensitivity. So that's pretty much it, guys. That was my ultimate guide to finding the best sensitivity for you in Valorant. If this video helped you out, it would mean the world to me if you left a like on the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.